everybody! So today I thought I would do a video on should you quit your job if you're unhappy at work. So this is a common thing that comes up with many of the women I speak to. Lots of them are really unhappy, unfulfilled, and feel as though the work that they do doesn't serve their higher purpose and they just don't want to go to that job anymore. And for some of them, quitting is an easy option. Quitting is an option that will just kind of like a band-aid, get all of their, get rid of all of their anxieties, their frustrations, everything. But for some of the women I speak to, quitting is not an option. And what I mean by that is that for most of the women that I speak to, the majority of them, they have family commitments, they have mortgages, they have bills to pay. It's not the most sort of, how can I say, realistic option for them. And I'm talking from experience of myself quitting my job. I've quit my job twice. Once I quit my job in my late 20s when I was single, and when I sort of lived at home, and I did have bills and stuff to pay, but I also had the security of living with my family. And second time I quit my job was more recently when I was working in a school and it just wasn't working for me. And I had the support of my husband, but it took me a long time to sort of come to a decision of, letting him down and thinking of whether or not it was the right decision. So, whether or not you should quit your job, it is an individual decision, but a couple of factors that I would say that you need to think about before you hand your notice in, literally, is you need to think about firstly why you are not enjoying that job anymore. What is the issue? What is the problem? Is it the people that you work with? Is it the work that you do? Is it the amount of work? What is causing you to maybe feel anxious or unhappy, or what is causing you to feel as though the job that you go to every day just isn't pushing the right buttons for you? So you need to firstly highlight what the issue is and why you're unhappy. Then you need to think about possible solutions and possible ways to get around that. I mean, if you've been in a particular line of work, let's say you've been in marketing or you've been in education for quite a few years, can you still see yourself being in that field in the next job that you apply for? If you can, and you know that you still have a little bit of passion for what you do, but maybe you want to work your way up the ladder, or maybe you can see yourself still doing something within that field but doing it differently, try to think of ways in which you can do maybe your job a little bit differently, or you can have a role which will really fulfill you and excite you. Because it could be that if you've been working at the same place for a number of years, it could just be that you just need to be in a different environment, but where you would do a similar role, but you just have a new zest of life put into it. Or if you know that what you do at the moment is an area that you don't particularly want to be in again, and you want to change your career, or you want to start a business maybe, or you want to do freelance work, or you want to have the freedom of where you can make your own decisions by having a business, then you need to sort of reassess and have a plan of how you're going to do that. And if we go back to whether or not quitting is an option for you or not, if you know straight away, and and it's not to say that people who are married and people who are single, it's easier for them. That's not true. You could have a really supportive partner like I did, who will back up your decision and will be like, okay, if this job is making you feel really unhappy, or you're not where you need to be, I will support you. If your partner supports you with that, and you know that they will be able to support you both financially and emotionally with the decision that you make to quit, then it is still an option for you to quit. But if you know financially that you can't, or there are other mitigating circumstances, so for example, many people many people work and they provide for their families, not just for kids but for their parents and for maybe other elderly relatives. So if you know that you have a commitment there, you have an obligation there, you know that quitting your job might not be an option. Or if you know as a single person you have a mortgage and your mortgage is the primary reason why you need to continue working because your rent doesn't cover the mortgage, then what other option have you got? There's lots of different ways of looking at this, but the main point that I want to put across in this video is whether you should quit or not, is to make a list of all of the things that you think would happen, all of the worst possible scenarios of what you think could happen if you quit your job today. I mean, and when I mean worse, I mean like in terms of money, in terms of people relying on you, in terms of everything. And if you read the list back and it doesn't actually seem that bad, and you kind of think, okay, I can go to bed at night every night, and if I'm out of work for 2 months, let's say, and I can still survive on my savings, then that's okay. But if you look at that list and you kind of think, okay, I have quite a lot of people relying on me, and I have mortgage payments, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do that. If you know realistically in your mind it might not be a viable option, you need to have a plan B. So you need to maybe start applying for jobs. You need to, actually list what it is you want, especially if you want a career change. I won't talk too much about a career change in this video because it's more about whether or not you're going to quit your job. But what I would say is that if you are still not sure what you actually even want to do, then you need to get clarity around that by either sort of thinking about what it is that you do enjoy and what sort of brought you to the point of starting the career that you started in the first place. For some people it might be that you just fell into it. For other people it could be that you actually had a passion for it, but the passion's just wavered due to time and due to the, maybe you've been in a toxic work environment or whatever. But the main thing that I'm going to say is that quitting your job is not the end of the world, but it's all about your mindset and it's all about what you feel is important to you. So I'm going to end it with, if you like the finer things in life and you know that your job not only provides you with your mortgage payments and the bills, but also gives you, because you get a good salary, also allows you to have a luxury car and allows you to, go on luxury cruises and dinners and stuff like that. And if you're not willing to compromise on that just for a little bit, then it might not be an option for you. But if you know that bigger and better things are waiting for you, and you know that the life that you truly desire is just not happening right now, it could be the only option for you. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video really serves you well. Take care. Bye.